Alright, Colleen and Kevin, how's it going? Good, ready to go? Alright, welcome aboard. First type 1 helicopter for any? Yeah? Mine too, a little nervous. I'm just joking. Got a lot of bad jokes, you know from David already. Don't believe him, he lies. Welcome aboard. Alright, everybody ready? Alright, well, a couple things covered real quick before we get going. First off, my name's Chad, just in case they didn't mention it. As well, did everybody get the safety briefing? Good, awesome. As well, for the next couple of moments here, I'll be making a couple radio calls getting us out of here. So sit back, relax, and I'll be back here with you all in just a moment. Thanks.
Wish that I could fly to the sky so very high, just like a dragonfly. I fly above the trees, over the seas, in all degrees, to anywhere I please. Oh, I want to get away. I want to fly away. Yeah.
Alright, back here with you all. Coming out to our left side, this is all the town of Boulder City. Boulder City was built back in the 1930s to house the workers for the Hoover Dam. Back in that time, there was no gambling allowed, no drinking, and no prostitution. Pretty much no fun at all. There's a point to that, though. They wanted to try and keep the workers motivated, and it worked pretty well. They ended up finishing the dam a couple years ahead of schedule. Since then, they legalized drinking here in the town of Boulder City. But it's still the only town in Nevada where gambling is illegal. So don't gamble in Boulder City. Better things to get arrested for. You can start to see Lake Mead coming into view up ahead. This is the largest man-made lake in the Western Hemisphere. It's a result of the Hoover Dam stopping up the Colorado River. Once they built the dam, it took about 7 years for the lake to fully fill in. We're going to get a view of the dam here from both sides in just a couple moments as well. The Hoover Dam starting to come into view to the left there. This is the bypass bridge you can see just in front of it as well. That was built to help alleviate some of the traffic and congestion going between Nevada and Arizona just ahead of us. The dam is about 726 feet tall. It's thickest at the base, about 660 feet thick to hold back all that river water. There's enough concrete in the dam as well. If you were to take it and make a 2-lane highway, it could go all the way from New York City to Los Angeles, California, coast to coast. Probably already started to notice sort of this white line or ring that runs around the lake as well. This is what I call the tub line. It's the highest point the lake's ever been. So it's kind of low right now, about 40 feet low to be exact. A lot of people in Vegas kind of worried about that, as this is our main water supply out here. But I've been told it's come up about 20 feet or so from last summer, so I'm not too worried about it. Not yet anyways. Mountain starting to come to our left here. This is actually an old dormant volcano. Hasn't erupted in a couple million years. So no worries, not gonna erupt today. Although then again, you never know. It would be cool to see it erupt. Probably not while we're flying around it, but it would be pretty cool to see. Small dip in the ridgeline head. This is called Indian Pass. This is where a lot of the Paiute Indians used to live back in the early 1800s. Used to be a lot of covered wagon trails all through this area as well. Still some remnants of them left just inside Indian Pass. Today, though, most likely 4x4 or off-road trails. A little bit of wildlife out here in the desert as well. We got bighorn sheep out here, as well as wild horses. We got hawks, eagles, bald eagles, ravens, vultures, ground squirrels, chipmunks, scorpions, lizards, tarantulas. My least favorite, the rattlesnake. Not really a big fan, especially since we got about 16 different varieties of them out here, all just as deadly. More of Lake Mead to the left here as well. The entire lake is about 110 miles long. There's about 550 miles of shoreline around the lake. They divided into 3 separate basins as well. The Boulder Basin was behind us by the dam. This is all the Virgin Basin to the left. We'll see the Greg Basin, the last section, a little bit later on. The Virgin Basin to our left here is the largest and deepest basin, at about 450 feet deep at the deepest point.
Around the fire, burning old wood, getting higher. When we hear that cracking good, you can feed it. Show it as you steal, you receive it. We're warming up the field, you started. With this sparking of a thought, we have it. Into it we are taught, with the music as a meeting place. Rock to come, rock to be. With the music as a meeting place. Rock to come.
Most of the land around the lake, as well as the lake itself, all considered Lake Mead recreational area. You can rent jet skis, boats, houseboats at any of the 3 main marinas on the lake. They keep it pretty well stocked with fish as well, including striped bass, trout, rainbow trout, and catfish.
In the rhythm, ooh, talking music. Ooh, where's the wisdom? Hey, 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 hey. Come along. Oh, 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 na, 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 na. Ooh, in the rhythm. Ooh, talking music. Ooh, where's the wisdom? Hey, 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 hey.
Small town coming up ahead to the right here. This is all Temple Bar. Very small town, only about 50 houses at most. There's a little marina down below the town as well. This is sort of a favorite stop for some of the celebrities. Not a whole lot of paparazzi or people to bother them. The thing to do out here is rent a houseboat, kind of motor out onto the lake, and just sit back, relax, and enjoy the lake. It's celebrity, maybe party as well. I believe Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee did an interesting home video of the houseboat out here as well. This is also all the new town of Temple Bar. The original Temple Bar was a government mining town. It was a gold mine. Rumor has it, still gold in the mine, still exists. The only problem is the original mine and town sit almost directly in front of us down in the lake, and about 300 feet of water. All that gold gone, shame.
Talking of a thought, here we have it. And to it we are taught with the music as a meeting place for all to come, for all to be. With the music as a meeting place for all to come, for all to be. With the music as a meeting place for all to come, for all to be. With the music as a meeting place for all to come, for all to be. With the music as a meeting place for all to come, for all to be. With the music as a meeting place for all to come, for all to be.
Most of the mountains and terrain out here are created by geographical shifting. There's a big fault line that runs kind of east to west through this entire area. There's a lot of activity with the tectonic plates around this fault line. As those plates kind of shift and collide, moves a lot of the land around, creating the mountains and terrain. The theory or belief as well is that millions of years ago, all this was on the ocean floor, and from those same plates shifting, pushed it all up out of the ocean. Of course, I wasn't here a couple million years ago, so who knows for sure, I guess.
Ocean today, let's just say the admiration's benefit for who I am, who I'd rather not be. I see stone people with no names. Don't move and let the wind speak. You'll hear it clearly. I'd rather not be. Motion today, let's just say the admiration's benefit for who I am, who I'd rather not be. I see stone people with no names. Don't move and let the wind speak. You'll hear it clearly. I'd rather not be. My sudden love is, my sudden love is wild. My sudden love is, my sudden love is wild.
This is the last section of Lake Mead, the Greg Basin. The Colorado River starts to come in to our left down there. And you can see just barely a color change in the water. It's a dark, muddy brown color. That's all the debris and sediment from the Grand Canyon. The Colorado River continues to carve out and erode away at the canyon, making it deeper by about an inch or two every year. All the water for the Colorado as well comes entirely from snowmelt from the Colorado Rockies.
My sudden love is wild. My sudden love is, my sudden love is wild. My sudden love is, my sudden love is motion today. I see stone people with no names, and I'd rather not be. My sudden love is, my sudden
Big X coming to our left on that plateau there. That's Pierce Ferry Airport, built by the military back in the 60s to train Navy pilots to take off and land the aircraft carriers. The runways used to go right to the edge of the cliffs and just drop off.
my sudden love is wild. Sudden love is, my sudden love is wild.
And welcome to the Grand Canyon. This is all the west rim. The entire length of the canyon, roughly about 277 miles long. The widest point out here about 5 miles across to rim, and almost a mile deep at 4,000 feet from the rim to the river.
But my friend, I'd sacrifice all those nights if I could make the earth and my dreams the same. The only difference is to let love replace all I hate. So let's go there. Let's make our escape. Come on, let's go there. Let's trust and we stay. Can you take me higher to a place?
Now everything on the left side of the river out to the left of the aircraft, that's all Grand Canyon National Park. Everything on the right side of the river, or out to the right of the aircraft, this is all Hualapai Indian Reservation. Now the Hualapai Indians own about 1 million acres to the right side. Now the park on the left owns about 1.2 million acres, so just barely a little bit more than the Indians. Small point coming up ahead to the right. Start to notice kind of 2 towers right on the edge of that point. These are called the bat towers. There used to be a cable that stretched from these towers to a bat cave on the other side. They'd mine the bat guano or the bat droppings and use it for everything from explosives to fertilizer. Alright, got a short 40-second cool down here. Once I get the blade stopped, I get the doors open and the food set up at the picnic tables. And we got about 30 minutes now. Yeah, a lot of this land up on top, all hunting grounds for the Indians. A little bit higher up, a little bit cooler. As a result, some larger wildlife. Now we got buffalo up here, as well as deer, antelope, black bears, brown bears, mountain lions, bobcats. This is all ranch land for the Indians as well. Another source of income for them is ranching or cattle herding. You'll start to notice kind of some white spots scattered in some of the shadows ahead. This is residual snow from a snowstorm we had a little over a month ago. This is all the stuff kind of sticking around in the shadows that hasn't quite melted yet.
decide that the things that I tried were in my life just to get high on. When I sit alone, come get a little known, but I need more than myself this time. Step from the road to the sea to the sky, and I do believe that we rely on. When I lay it on, come get to play it on all my life to sacrifice. Hey, oh.
Road running from my right side, kind of headed down the mountain in front. This is the road you'd come up if you were to drive out here. To drive out from Las Vegas, roughly about 8 hours round trip. Long day, no fun at all.
That I really can go to the well one small time to decide on. When it's killing me, when will I really see all that I need to look inside? Come to believe that I better not leave before I get my chance to ride. When it's killing me, what do I really need? All that I need to look inside. Hey, oh, listen what I say, oh, come back and hey, oh, look at what I say, oh. The more I see, the less I know, the more I like to let it go. Hey, oh, whoa, whoa. Deep beneath the cover of another perfect wonder where it's so white as snow. Privately divided by a world so undecided, and there's nowhere to go. In between the cover of another perfect wonder, and it's so white as snow. Running through the field where all my tracks will be concealed, and there's nowhere to go. Oh! When to descend to a man for a fan that had broken down.
A series of buildings and teepees to the left by the road there. It's an area called the Ranch. You come out here, stay in a teepee, go for a horseback ride. It's for the most part sounds pretty fun, but generally pretty cold in the winter. Pretty hot in the summer, which doesn't sound like a whole lot of fun in a teepee. At least to me anyways.
I got your hey, oh, listen what I say, oh.
Town all out to our right side here. This is all the town of Meadview. Meadview got its start back in the 60s as a retirement community. Kind of grew from there since. I don't really see the appeal living out in the middle of nowhere. These people do, so more power to them. The strange thing, however, is they call it Meadview. It really doesn't have a view of Lake Mead at all. Kind of weird. A lot of these trees out here as well, these are all Joshua trees. Kind of a cool tree, cross between a cactus and a tree. They can grow to be about 20 feet tall, and some of the larger ones out here are probably older than 400 years. You can start to notice all the grid patterns with the roads up ahead. This was all land that was for sale about 10 years ago. A lot of it bought up by people without ever coming to look at it. Obviously, not a whole lot of construction going on in the last 10 years. They realized an unfortunate problem that most of the water table out here sits below granite. It's much too hard and expensive to drill through, so there's no running water out here. We'll make a quick fuel stop, kind of the same drill as a canyon. Once I get down, get the blade stopped and the doors open. Can all wander around for a minute or two. It won't take too much longer than that, and we'll be back on our way. A couple mines around this area. Sort of some holes dug in the hillside to the left here. There's kind of random holes all throughout the hills. The government lets you mine pretty much anywhere you want out here. Pay about 25 bucks, get a permit, start digging. And most people looking for gold out here. But you can find silver, copper, nickel, and other less precious metals out here as well. A little ways up ahead, sort of towards our right nose, big mountain way out in the distance there. Just beyond that is Area 51. There's some areas around Area 51 as well as in Area 51 where they used to do a lot of nuclear testing back in the 1950s. Back then they used to set off one nuclear bomb every 3 weeks for 12 years, total of about 235 nuclear bombs. Now, a lot of those tests as well were only about 65 miles from Vegas, so not too far. That's how it earned the nickname back then, the Atomic City. You could go out to Vegas, gamble, see a mushroom cloud all in the same day. A lot of experts as well say probably quite a bit of fallout reached the outskirts of Vegas or where Vegas is built up on today. That's kind of my excuse why the farther you go outside town, the stranger people are. Not sure if it's true, but it's my excuse anyways. Most of the desert out here as well, pretty similar looking. Every once in a while something stands out a little bit, becomes a landmark. One of those just up ahead, kind of a peak with almost a boulder right on top of it. We got a lot of pilots in Vegas with pretty dirty minds, so you can kind of see what they think that might look like. One of those pilots was flying out here a few years back, just after the Super Bowl halftime show with Janet Jackson, the one with the wardrobe malfunction. Pilot saw us just after that and said, hey, that looks like Janet Jackson. It's stuck, it's called Janet, it's actually in our flight plan. It's a reporting point out in the desert here. This mountain range just off our nose here, this is called Mount Wilson. And it got its name from a fortune seeker who came out here to look for gold. And he set out with just a donkey and a pickaxe and ended up finding millions of dollars worth of gold. So they named the mountain after him. Rumor has it still gold in the hills of Mount Wilson here as well. So if you're all looking for something different to do, grab a donkey and a pickaxe and go look for gold. You start to notice sort of some areas of exposed black rock and darker colored rock on this slope of Mount Wilson as well. This is all volcanic cinder, or volcanic rock from eruptions a couple million years ago. You can start to see the Colorado River up ahead to the left here. This is the continuation after the Hoover Dam. Much cleaner than out towards the canyon as it comes from the base or the very deep part of the lake. This section as well runs all through a canyon off our nose called Black Canyon. Gets its name from the darker volcanic rock in the area. Real original name. This section as well will continue down towards California and then eventually into Mexico. ways up ahead past Boulder City. Big mountain way out in the distance there. That's Mount Charleston. It's the tallest mountain in the Las Vegas area. The summit goes up to about 12,000 feet. And we get quite a bit of snow up on top in the wintertime. As a result, there's a ski resort up on top, only about a 45-minute drive from Vegas. So not too many people know Vegas, pretty good place to come to go snow skiing or snowboarding. Some power lines kind of coming up ahead to the left here, following these dirt roads to this substation coming up off our nose. This is where all the electricity for the Hoover Dam goes to, and they distribute it from here to areas of Arizona, California, and Nevada. Now, strangely enough, about 80% of the electricity produced by the dam is sold to different states, and we buy back 80% that we sell, which didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Someone from the power company told me it's actually cheaper to sell it and buy it back than to just use it. However, that works. We're going to be landing here shortly as well. Once I get back down on the ground, I'm going to stay running, and someone from the office will come out and grab the doors for you all. It's been a pleasure flying with you all today. Hope you all enjoyed the flight, and thanks for flying with me.
Jam it with you. We're jamming, jamming, and I hope you like jamming too. And the rules ain't no vow, we can do it anyhow. I will see you through, 'cause every day we pay the price to deliver. Jamming till the jam is through. We're jamming. The thing that jamming was the thing of the past. We're jamming, and I hope this time is gonna last. No bullet to stop us now, we need to beg or we won't bow. Neither can be born nor sold. You're the blend the right side, the children must unite. Oh, life is worth much more than gold. We're jamming, 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 and we're jamming in the name of the Lord. We're jamming, 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 we're jamming right straight from yours. Yeah. Holy Mount Zion, Holy Mount Zion, just seated in Mount Zion. It rules all creation, yeah, we're jamming. Pop to our war, we're jamming. I wanna jam it with you. We're jamming, 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 jamming. And jamming, hope you're jamming too. Channels are magic right, the truth again is high, to keep you satisfied. True love I know exists, is the love I can't resist, so stand by my side. We're jamming, 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 jamming. I wanna jam it with you. We're jamming, 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 we're jamming. Hope you like jamming too.